Hello everyone, it's story time. Today I want to share the unforgettable experience of my first flight and my initial impressions when I arrived in the US. So first, my group and I left for the US from Thailand. We arrived in mid-April and stayed at a hotel designed by the US Embassy for about 2 weeks. During that time, we underwent a series of in-depth interviews from various American organizations and departments, all through interpreter. The South Korean embassy also sent officials to confirm our North Korean backgrounds through conversations in Korean. Not only that, but we also received medical checkups in a large hospital equipped. We were screened for contagious diseases and got vaccinated and had x-rays taken. The exams were very thorough, and after everything was prepared, the day finally arrived for us to depart for America. On the day of my first flight, I was so excited. I couldn't even sleep, and to us, the chance to board the plane was beyond imagination. In North Korea, most people never get the opportunity to fly. My father's generation and my grandfather's generation, none of them ever had a chance. Only a very small group of privileged individuals within Kim Jong-un's regime could leave the country with a plane. I remember looking up at airplanes as a child, wondering what would it feel like to fly in one of those. But it always felt impossible. When we finally boarded, I was so amazed, looking around non-stop. Other passengers were strangely just sitting quietly. They were not interested in anything about plane, right? But we were glued to the window, trying to see everything outside, making a big commotion in our excitement. However, as excited as I was initially, the feeling didn't last forever. After a few hours, I started feeling cramped and boring, and soon I was just waiting for the plane to land. That was the reality of taking plane. It was too long. The hours was like over 20 hours. So oh my God, the first plane we ever took was too long. Yeah. After a layover in Japan, we finally arrived in the US. Our arrival point was Newark Airport in New Jersey. So government settled us in New York and New Jersey area. Once we finished all the procedures at the airport, we finally stepped outside and were greeted by a local Korean pastor. He had been connected with us and came to meet us in a van, ready to take us to refugee apartment provided by the government. It was about a 40 minutes drive, and our destination was also in Newark area. As we drove there, we were very nervous and scared at first. We had no idea what's gonna happen to us, and I had imagined the US as a dark, harsh place. It's due to all the negative propaganda I had been exposed to back in North Korea. But as we drove, I was amazed by the nature beauty. So it was springtime, and the roadside was full of fresh green trees sprouting new leaves and flowers blooming everywhere. If you know already, Newark isn't known as a particularly beautiful area, but to us, it was extremely pretty. In North Korea, trees and greenery along the roadside are very rare. Because of the lack of electricity and gas, people often chop down the trees for firewood. So the landscape is barren. Nearby hills have no trees, and you have to go deep into the mountains to see even a few remainings. Also, if there's anything edible, people pick it up for food, even the bark of trees. I remember I ate tree bark often, as it's used as a last resort when there's no other food. It's tough, tasteless, and often causes digestive issues. But it's better than starved to death, so we were grateful to have it. And another thing that amazed me was the sight of squirrels. They playing among the trees and flowers. It was honestly a shock to me. I had never seen animals up close before like this. In North Korea, animals never come near the roads or people because they know they'd be caught and eaten. People are starving, so any animals that appears is taken for food. Wildlife has learned to stay far from humans, and even if they didn't, most have already been hunted. So it's very rare to see them. So seeing nature so close and animals like squirrels running freely made me feel a sense of peace I had never experienced before. I thought if animals here can live so freely, then people must live even better. Watching the simple harmony between nature and animals, I felt a surprising sense of comfort and hope in my heart. So after getting some rest at our temporary apartment, we were taken on a tour of Manhattan, New York, so we could see the heart of capitalism for ourselves. We took a bus into the city and I couldn't believe my eyes. New York was absolutely breathtaking. Tall skyscrapers, stylish New Yorkers, and crowds of tourists filled the streets and creating a lively, chaotic atmosphere. That was when it finally hit me. We were really in America. Coming from a place as isolated as underdeveloped as North Korea, suddenly walking around the financial capital of the world felt so real. I even pinched myself and feeling like I had landed on another planet. And one of the most memorable moments was when we entered the building and a gentleman, New Yorker, like he was so handsome, tall, a middle-aged man, kindly opened the door for me. I was so startled and flustered. In a rush, I grabbed the door right away and gesturing for him to go in instead. I was, no, I grabbed it and I'll just open it for him. That's what I was before in North Korea. And then the gentleman was so confused and he didn't know what to do, and then he didn't say anything, just went in. And then I was open the door for a few more people, like go in, I'll serve for you, like this. In North Korea, the mindset of men above women is still very strong. So women do most of the work, including taking care of the house, raising children, cooking, and even working outside the home. I was raised in a culture where women always served men. So to have someone hold the door for me was both shocking and uncomfortable. I wasn't used for that. And although New Yorkers aren't known for being overly friendly, I was deeply moved by the kindness in their gestures, and it was so surprising and heartwarming. In North Korea, we were taught that capitalism is a system where the strong exploit the weak, and that Americans are cruel villains. But instead of encountering harshness, I found kindness, politeness, and a culture of respect and consideration. It was a huge shock for me, and it completely changed my perspective. So this experience taught me that there is so much more to people and places than I had been led to believe. My time in New York was like stepping into a new world. So this is the story of my first impression upon arriving in America. The nature, the animals, and the kindness and the freedom around me gave me a glimpse of the life that might be possible here. Thank you for listening to my story, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed sharing it. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. See you next time. Bye!